I think most of are here, so let's start the event. I'm audible to you guys. Rishika, I'm audible.
Yes, Aanchal.
Okay, so hello everyone. I hope you all are fine and doing well. First of all, thank you for being here with us today in this event, Python with Visual Studio Code. I'm Aanchal Rattan. I will be the moderator, and Rishika Garg will be the speaker of this event. She will be sharing her Python programming knowledge with you guys, as well as she will guide you how to get started with Python. You will also get to learn how you can make two Python projects that are really interesting and simple to make. Also, at the end of the session, we will discuss about the perks of being a MLSA, that is Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador, and why you should join the program. So I request you all to stay muted during the event, and all your queries are always welcomed in the chat box. We will try our best to answer them. So you will learn a lot guys. So please listen carefully. And now I request Rishika to start the session.
So thanks, Aanchal, for the lovely intro. Since Aanchal is done with our introduction, let's start with the presentation. So what is Visual Studio Code? VS Code is a source code editor provided by Microsoft for Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. It is a free service that provides us with powerful features that makes the programmer's life very simple. Why Visual Studio Code? VS Code is not any code editor. It has some really cool features which makes it different from others. And that's the reason why I personally love it so much. It supports hundreds of languages. It has intuitive keyboard and various keyboard shortcuts, auto indentation, etc. Most importantly, this intelligence code completion and debugging tool, it has you don't that means you don't have to keep track of things like semicolons and curly braces pairing. VS Code takes care of it. It is fast and frictionless. You don't have to care about requirements of your editor. You can just spend your time thinking and coding because this code editor takes care of everything else. Powerful features. Well, as I already mentioned, it supports hundreds of coding languages. You name it, it has it. It has various keyboard shortcuts and emit abbreviations. I have a YouTube channel named Geek Wizards. You can check out how much I use it. I'm really a fan of keyboard shortcuts and emit abbreviation. It saves so much of my precious time. Now let's learn how you can download Visual Studio Code. I'll provide you with this link, but for now I have opened this window. You can simply type in Google Visual Studio Code downloader and you'll see a web page like this. You can choose your system and its configuration. Mine is 6432-bit, so I've installed it. It's pretty simple and you just need to give the required permissions and don't forget to click on create desktop icon. But if still you have some problem downloading it, you can ping us on LinkedIn. Soon Aanchal will be sharing our LinkedIn profiles. Let me show you the interface of Visual Studio Code. Okay. So the icon looks something like this. So this is the Visual Studio Code interface. You can change the theme accordingly. I have given it a dark theme since everything gets serious and dark. So you can change the theme also according to your needs. It has powerful features. You can see here, you can explore things like get lens from here. But the most important feature I like is extensions. Since we are going to work on Python, So you just need to type Python, look for the extensions that solve your purpose. You can just click here, see what the extension does. If you find it useful, you can click install and you are good to go. I about IntelliSense. If it is not downloaded, if it is not already downloaded, then I request you to download it because it is a very cool feature. Like, see, the things that you see here are because of IntelliSense. You don't need to remember things. You can just press tab or enter, and your the snippet that you need to write will be completed. From here, you can, let's close it first. File. Now let me show you how you can create a folder. We will be working on this folder. So what I do is right click and create new folder, and I will just hit file and open the folder. So it's in desktop, Python event, select folder. So our folder will be opened. See, these are all the files we'll be working on. And with this icon, you can create new files, which I'll be showing you in further session. Let's jump back to our slides. So here we are done with VS Code. Now let's move further with Python. So are you haunted by programming languages like C, C++, Java? Don't worry, Python is here for your rescue. Let's talk about some fun facts first. You know, Python is named Python after Monty Python's Flying Circus. So Van Rossum, who's basically the father of Python, named it so. And people who code in Python are called Pythonists. I hope this session gives you a perfect head start to become a Pythonista, because like literally if you fall in love with Python, then there is no going back. So first question is, what is Python? Python is interpreted object oriented high level programming language with dynamic semantics. So what does interpreted means? This means Python uses interpreter to execute the code. Object-oriented Python treats everything that we write as an object. High-level programming, high-level because Python is very close to a natural language. So it is very high level. And these are some memes that I collected from Instagram. I'm a really big fan of Python versus other coding languages memes. So let's see them one by one. So it says when you switch from C++ to Python, there is like no going back. Bye bye, bye bye semicolons, bye bye curly braces. So you don't need them anymore. Python is easier language until and unless you don't miss spaces. Python is very like strict about indentions. You will see why. So it says C++ cannot compare float and int because they are very different data types. But as I've already told you that in Python variable is a variable. You don't need any type to compare them. So why Python? Python has a huge library and supports various modules and packages. You just need to type pip install and the package name to install them. Easy to learn syntax. As I told you, it is a high level language. So Python is very close to human language. It is very easy to learn. Python programs are shorter. In fact, you won't believe it, but Python programs are so small that it's like 3 to 5 times smaller than the Java programs. Python, in Python, no need to declare the types of arguments or variables. Yes, you don't need to declare the type. Everything is like in the previous meme, variable is a variable. You don't need to declare its type. So Python literally has so many advantages that the list is never ending. And in fact, because of these many advantages, its only disadvantage of being slow can be overlooked. Scope. Since Python has so many modules, it has many applications also. So you name it, it has it. It's like 1,000 problems, one solution, Python. Web development, game development, data analytics, cryptocurrency, software developments. These are some things that I wrote down, but it is not limited to here. You can like whatever you can think of, you can apply it using Python. So this is the last slide. And yeah, Python and VS Code are literally made for each other. It's like they together make your life very, very easier. You can just, it's like they double the benefit. I hope it makes sense. So here we are done with the presentation. Let's jump to the practical part. Let's learn basic Python. So I've already opened this folder and this is the file I created using this icon. I named the file and created .py. Py is the extension for Python files since I've already created it. So let's open it. So like in any other language, we need to write a first Python program, which is hello world. So we use print and also use single quotes, hello world. Let's run this. This is the terminal. Here you can see hello world. So this, we are done with the first program, the smallest first program. Let's comment it out. You have to press Control// to comment something in Visual Studio Code. So now we talk about variables. Variables are temporary spaces that stores data in computer's memory. And as I've already mentioned, you don't need to define the type of data in Python because it already takes care of it. But still, to categorize it, in Python, we have integer, float, string, boolean. Let me show you one. Let me like present them to you one by one. A equals to 3. Okay, third. Type will give the type of data type you are using. It says int. What if I write 30.0? It will say float. What if we write true? It will say bool because it's a boolean value. Also think you need to use capital T for true and capital F for false. Like if you write true like this, it won't work because it is not an identifier. It is not a keyword in Python. So you need to write true as true, not true. It's commented for reminder. If you want, I'll share this like you can use them as notes. Receiving input. So how we can receive input from user? Let's write a variable. This is a variable where we want to store our input and we'll simply write input. The things that you are seeing here is the IntelliSense feature provided by Visual Studio Code. Your age. Okay, let's write type A. That we know what is the default type it takes in. So I'll write 10. It says str. So now we know that the input it takes is in the form of string. So how do we change the type of the input it is taking? We'll simply do type conversion. With this, we come to a next step, type conversion. You can simply write int. Yes, I want to take integer input, so I'll write int input your age. Same thing here, type. Okay. Now for this it was showing string type. Now let's see what it shows here. And it says int because we have type converted it. So we are done with basics, how we can print the statement, how we can take the input, how we can type convert it. Let's talk about string and some of its method which are like very useful. So let's say uh, my good friend. Okay, now I want to print it. Print A. It says Aanchal is my good friend. If you want to check the type, you can also check the type. Now we apply some methods to it. A dot upper. As I click the dot button, you can see various things that you can do with it. So I want to apply upper method. So I'll press enter and now we run it. So it is all capitalized. Aanchal is my good friend. Now, if I want to search, you can explore this methods on your own. Let me show you something like really useful. If I want to search if Aanchal is present in this string. So what I'll write is Aanchal let's it should return true. See, it returns a Boolean value. Aanchal is present in this string. What if I write here Rishika? It says false because Rishika is not present in this string. We have string slice.
Rishika, you are muted.
Since when?
The last part.
Aanchal is my good friend.
Rishika is not present at A. That was done after that.
Okay. So, okay, no problem. So we are done till here. I hope you like got it, how strings work. String slicing, I will tell you with list slicing. We'll learn there together. Now let's talk about arithmetic operators. So like any other language, Python has a set of arithmetic operators. This is for addition, subtraction, multiplication, power, float division, integer division. So you must be knowing the top three things. Also the float division. I'll show you the power and the integer division. E equals to 3. And what I want to do is, I want to see what is A risk B. It should return 1000. See, it is returning 1000. It's the power function. Now let me tell you what is the difference between float division and integer division. If I write it like this, I'll get a float value, a decimal value, 3.33333. if I write double division, I call it double division, what I'll get is 3 because it negates this part, negates the decimal part. So this is how the arithmetic operators work. Now let's talk about comparison operators. So you must be, if you are into coding, you must be familiar with all this, but let's revise it for the sake of it. It is greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to, double equals to, not equals to. So there is not much to explain here, but it works like this: a equals to 10, 20. These all operators return the value in the form of boolean values like true and false. So if I write print, what I'll get is false. So it is like that. Double equals to is to check whether the two values are equal or not. It is also returning false. Not equals to will give true because 10 is not equal to 20. So it is pretty simple. Nothing much to explain here. Then we talk about logical operators. Where is logical operators? Okay, we are done with arithmetic comparison. Here is the logical operators. We have 3 logical operators in Python: and, or, not. So and works like if both the values are true, then it will return true. If either one of the values true, then it will come under or. And if the result is true, then you will get then not will convert it into false. So not inverses the result. Let me show you this only. Print not, let's say 10 is greater than 20. So this is false, but because we have applied not function here, so it should return true. See, it is returning true. Now we talk about if statements. If statements are like very important in any language. So they are very much important in Python too. We have 4 types of if statements. Uh, if else, simple if else, if elif ladder, and nested if. Let's talk about it. Let's say equals to 18. If is less than 18, we'll write print are not eligible. So this is the simple if statement. Okay. I don't see. Just a second. Oh, that's my mistake. A is less than 8. A is less, let's call it A is less than 20. Now we run it. That was logical error. We'll have to learn about errors also. So that was a logical error. You are not eligible to vote. Now we use it with else. As I said, Python purely works on indentation. If I write something here, print you are eligible to vote. What will happen? These two statements will be printed because it is under same indentation. So what I'll do is I'll remove this indentation, and now we'll run it. A is less than 18. So the condition is true. We have to change the condition. A is greater than 20. Then it will say you are eligible to vote, and this will say you are not eligible to vote. You are not eligible to vote because A is 18. So you can also write else statement. Otherwise, it works fine like this too, else. And you have to give indentation one tab space to give proper indentation. So it works like this. Now let's talk about if elif ladder. Let's give another condition, elif A greater than 25, you are adult. Else who are not eligible. Now A is 18, so let's see what will be the output. You are not eligible to vote. What if A is 28? It says you are eligible to vote. So we are done with if elif ladder. You can extend this ladder like according to your needs. And we have nested if. What if we have condition like B equals to female? And I can give a condition inside, let's say inside elif, I want to define another condition. E double equals to female, then we can print here is who are an adult female. You are eligible to vote. We have 20, 28. Okay, there's something wrong with this condition. See, 28 is bigger than 20, so it is executing this, but we want this to be executed. So what I'll do is I'll write A is greater than let's say A is greater than 50. It doesn't make sense, but it's like the condition is getting true here, so I have to make it false to make this work. So you are an adult female. So this is about nested if. I hope you get the idea. While loop. Let's talk about while loop. While loop makes our life very simple. So what while loop does is it repeats a set of statements until some specified condition becomes true. So let me show you an example. Let's take I equals to 1 while I is less than, let's say, 6. Let's run it. Okay, so it is printing I 6 times because it's an infinite loop. So we have to change the condition here. We have to update it also. Otherwise the system will crash. See, my loop is still running. So it prints 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Till 5 it prints. So this is simple while loop. Now let me show you something interesting. pattern printing got simple using Python. How? Let me show you. Let's say I want to print a tree using asterisk. So what I can do is I'll write while I less than, let's say 6 only, and you can concatenate two strings using plus. We'll get back to it, but first I'll tell you this. I'll write asterisk into I, and I'll update the value of I. So let's see if it works. See, a tree is printed. So let's get back to string and let me tell you what I was talking about. Yes. So there are some rules with strings. If I have A equals to Rishika, so I can also write it like A plus, and when we run this, what you will get is Rishika Garg. I haven't given space here, Rishika Garg, it will show. But what if I want to add a string with an integer? What will happen? Let's see. A plus B. It will show a type error because you cannot add string and can't add integer. But you know what? You can multiply a string with an integer. What if I write something like A into C? Let's see what will happen. Okay, I have to comment it out first. Let's run it. It prints Rishika 5 times. So another rule comes here is you can multiply a string with integer. So these are few little things that you need to keep in mind. Okay, so we printed a tree, pattern tree using while loop. Now let's jump to complex data types. We have lists, tuples, dictionaries. We have sets also, but it's pretty similar to lists. So let's talk about lists. So list works like an array, but the only difference is lists can have various data types in it. Like you can store string Rishika, comma separated, and you can store Boolean values also. Let's write true, value, let's say 2, float value 3.4. And when we print the list, let's see what it will show. So this is how a list looks like. What is the type of the list then? Let's see. So list, as the name suggests, list can have many data types. Since it is a complex data type, so list is only the data type. I don't know if I'm making sense, but it is like list itself is a data type. So how can we access access the things stored in a list. Let's make it a little bit more sensible. So we have 4 names. I want to see uh, I want to see if let's talk about what if I want to enter some new name in my list. Let's say I want to add Shweta in my list. What I'll do is I'll write a dot append. See, these are the intelligence feature. It is telling you that it needs some values. So I'll write Shweta. With this, it will be appended at the end of the list, and when I'll print it, print A. So Shweta will be displayed at the end of the list. We have many methods. We have, if you want to insert Shweta at some particular position, let's say I want to insert Shweta just after me, just after my name. So what I'll do is I'll give the index number. Index starts from 0. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3. So I want Shweta at this position. So what I'll do is I'll write 1, comma, Shweta. And A is there. So it says Rishika Shweta. We have many functions. We have pop functions. If you want to pop something, let's say I want to pop uh, the value stored at index 0, that is my name. So my name is popped out. Clear. What does clear do? Clear will remove every value present in the list. So our list gets empty when we use the clear function. So there are many methods that you can use with lists, and that's why I like lists a lot. Just keep in mind that lists are defined using these square brackets. Okay, I have to tell you one more feature also. So let's remove these comments first. You know, the best part about Python is that you can use positive numbers as well as negative numbers. What if I want to print a value using an index number? What I'll do is I'll write 0. So it will print Rishika. What if I write -1? What will happen? Let's see, -1. It will print John. So that is the best part about it, that you can access list from both the ends. Now let's move on to tuples. Tuples are defined using these brackets, round brackets, and tuples are just like lists. Immutable. So this is the keyword here. Like we have so many methods for list, we cannot do much with tuples. Why? Let me tell you. Let's say I have a tuple of numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I want to add a new number to it. So what I'll do is I should append it, but I have no method for it to append. You cannot use it. Let's try. It will throw an error. See, it's an error because since the tuples are immutable, you cannot change anything in tuples. So these are used only when you want a fixed set of values. You don't want to change it. What you can do is you can int the values. You can just access the values and store in other variables to work with them. See, so there's nothing much you can do with tuples. Now we have these dictionaries are defined using curly braces. So values. Learn how we can define a dictionary. Uh, let's name our dictionary as dict. So we need curly braces. And let's write are on the left hand side and values are on the right hand side. So let's write physics, and the value is 75. Tree, chemistry, 100. It's chemistry, let's say bio. So these are the keys and these are the values. How we can access it? We can access the values using keys. So if I want to print something, what I'll do is I'll simply write dict in square brackets, sorry. Physics. And I'll run it. So it shows 75. You can apply various methods. You can apply pop function also. You can pop values using these keys. You can get values using these keys. You can add things to the keys. There are various methods. You just need to type the dot and you can see what all you can do. So I am leaving it for you to explore. Now this is the last part, for loop. So what is for loop? For loop works like if we have a set of data, let's say we have a list. Let's say we have some numbers 1, 3, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 5. And I have these numbers. What I'll simply do is I'll write for num in A. Int A. TRL F5. There is some issue. Okay, so it's like I am printing the same thing again and again. I have to print here num. So it will access each element one by one, each element of the list one by one, and will print it. So that's how lists work. We have another function, range function. So let's see what does it do. I want to print even numbers. So what I'll do is for I in range, So after every so each element, each even number will be printed using this method. This means skip by 2 and this means till 10. So 10 will not be counted. Range is 0 to 10 excluding 10. What will happen? Print I. Even numbers will be printed. So that's your creativity, how you use for loop. So these are some notes that I made. This is the roadmap. I have given you a head start, intro to the Python basics. You can work on projects, you can fall in love with it. Then you have to learn OOPS concept. I have made this for you if you are interested in learning Python, and then you can choose a particular framework and work in a particular direction. Now, as promised, we jump on a project part. Let's work with our project. Let's make image manipulator. Call it imagemani.py. New file will be created. So I want you to go and install. I already said you can install files using pip command, pip install. So we need to import some libraries. Let me show you how you can install libraries. You have to just Google pillow because we have to work with it. Pillow python.py. So you can just copy it and paste it in the terminal. Your pillow file will be installed. I already have it installed, so I'll just directly import it from pal. Okay, it's pil import. So this is the first step from pil import image. So now we can open our image. Let's see. We need a variable to store our image. Let's call it image1 equals to image dot open image. And what is the name of the image? Let's say base dot jpg. So this image base.jpg will be stored in this variable. And I want to change its type. I want to change the type of JPG to PNG. Let's see how I will do it. I'll write image one dot save ways. Let's name it ways 2 dot png. I want it in PNG format. I'll run this. See, a PNG file is created. So that's how you can change the type of image. You can do various things like you can change the color, you can make it black and white, you can rotate it. Let me show you how you can rotate it. What I'll write is rotate. Okay, let's first remove it. I want to rotate it by 90 degrees and I want to save it also. So I'll write save. .jpg. A third file is created and it is rotated. So this is image manipulation. I worked with a single image, but you can apply this thing to multiple image using for loops. let's comment it. We need to work with Easter and base. I have two files. I need to work with these two. So I need access to my operating system. So I'll have to import another directory, another module called import OS. So I have installed OS and I'll write the main code here for f in os dot list directory. I need to see dot files, that is JPG and PNG files. And if dot ends with, so this is a method. You see how simple it is to work with modules. Ends with, I only want to work with the dot JPG files. So if it ends with dot JPG, then I want to show that image in a variable named as I. So what I'll do is image dot open file. File is the variable that we have created in the for loop. Okay, so we have stored the image, but now since I want to change the type of change the type here, let's create a separate folder. Let's name it pngs because we are going to change the type of jpg into pngs. So I have created a folder pngs, and I need the name separately and the extension separately. So fx equals to os dot path dot split text split text file. So this will split the text. We will have like, it's like ways.jpg. So ways will be stored here. .jpg will be stored in the extension part. Now let's see what is the progress that we made. I want to print fx. So these are the three jpg files. We have 1, 2, and 3. I want to know the names of this file, so I'll run it again. Easter base 3. These are the three JPG files. So let's print it out because we now know that we are doing good so far. And the final step, I want to save it in this PNG format. So I'll do I dot save. The I'll write the location. I want to store the images here in this folder that we created, PNGs. So I'll write PNGs forward slash and this is the format specifier. Learn about it. It's a very important thing. Format specifier, and we'll write dot format. I want to save it with a different name or the same name, depends totally upon you. I want to name it the way it is. So I'll write fn like it's ways, then it will be ways.png. So let's first check this folder. See, this folder is empty for now. It has nothing in it. But now we run our code. Now you see, we have three images that are converted into PNGs. So I worked with three images. You can manipulate like hundreds of images in a single click using this application. What if I want to resize this image? So what I'll do is I'll declare a variable named size and give it give it some value. Let's say 400 by 400. And after this line, f and fx, I'll write I dot I, that is the variable name, I dot thumbnail, because I want thumbnail of this image, thumbnail, and I'll give this variable, size variable here. And let's create one more folder, size. Let's name it size. So, okay, it's created inside this folder. Let's delete it. Oof. Let's name it size. So we have a new folder, it is empty again. And now we'll do the magic. Let's comment it out first. I.thumbnail. I want to save this. So name of my folder is size. So I'll write size / format specifier. Because we are giving it 400 size, 400 size. So let's write 400. Completely optional, you can skip it. Dot is for the extension, and we'll write format f comma f text. Okay, I hope it will work. Okay, dot format. It is dot format. So we have run our code. Let's see if it is stored in it. F5 unknown file extension dot. Now it is working. We have files of 400 by 400 size. This is Easter 400. This is Easter original file. So you see the size has reduced 400 by 400. So this is how it works. So we are done with project number 1. That is the image manipulator. You can read the documentation or more information. Documentation. Now let's create our audiobook. So this is a PDF of 1 page. We'll be working with it first. Again, you have to import some files. We need Python text to speech, so you can simply write Python text to speech. So you will get pyttsx3 extension. You will have to copy it and paste it in the terminal to install it. I have it already. So yeah, and you have to install another extension. It is called, let's write it here only, Pi PDF2. You have to install it. And the other one is Pi TX3. So these are the two modules that you need to install. Now let's work with it. Import TX3 Pi TTSX3. So let me show you how it works. We have to invoke it first. Let's have to define a variable speaker. Speaker equals to enter pi ttx. We have to invoke it pi ttx3 dot init. So we'll use init function to call it. And I want it to speak something. So I'll write speaker say hello you. Actually, just tell me if it is audible or not. Aanchal,
Not yet.
not audible. Okay, I'll have to run it again then. Audible?
No, Rishika. Have you included system sound?
Yes, I have.
Share your
Let
screen
me let
once again.
let
Yeah.
let me see. Is it visible?
No.
Bad network.
Please share once again.
Just a second. Visible?
Yes, Rishika.
Okay. Is it audible? No?
Not yet.
Something's wrong with it. I don't know why you are not able to listen to it, but I can hear it. Uh, okay, so since you guys are not able to hear it, I'll simply write the code now. So this was for the sample part. This was for the sample part. Now let's import the other import py f2. So I want to, first of all, I need a variable. I'll open a book, name it book. book equals to open. I want to open this file. So I'll write the name of this file here. The fingers dot pdf. The fingers dot pdf. It's the right name. And I need it in reader back, so I'll write RB. That stands for reader back. I'll define another variable called PDF reader. PDF2 dot PDF file reader. We need to read it. And what we want to read this book. So I'll write the variable inside it. Pages are present in this PDF. So I'll write pages equals to read PDF dot num pages. Let's see how many pages are available here. Pages. Okay, num pages. It's num.
Rishika, actually we are running out of time. Can you do it a little faster?
Yeah, just a little bit code is left. Print pages. Num pages. Right. Yeah. See, it has one page, as I've already showed you. It has only one page. So it works fine till here. Now, I want to invoke the speaker here. So I'll write speaker equals to pi ttsx3 dot init for num in range pages. Let's say because I have only one page, so I'll write pages. You can, if you want, you can write something like x comma pages. If you have different, like if you want to read from page number 7, you can write x comma pages. That is the number from where you want to start. We define another variable called page equals to pdf dot get page, and I'll write num here. That is the variable that is the page we are on, and I'll write text equals to page dot extract x and dot say text. So what it will do is whatever it extracts, speaker will speak it, say. And to give speaker some time to run and wait, so I'll write speaker dot run and wait. Let's run it.
And safety. Olvas working at the fish plant up north in Julutby and he accidentally
Yes, Rishika.
all 10 of his fingers.
Okay,
He went to the
finally.
emergency room in the clinic and he got DAR'd.
You
Norski doctor looked at Ol and said, let's have the fingers and I'll see what I can do. Ol said, I haven't got the fingers. What do you mean, you haven't he got the.
So you guys can also print the text if you want.
And safety.
See.
Olvas working at the fish plant up north in Julutby and he accidentally Cut off all 10 of his fingers. He went to the emergency room in the clinic and when he got the
So this is the audiobook that you can make. Like it took me 11 to 12 lines. I'll share this code with you all. And yeah, as Aanchal said, we are out of time. So Aanchal, take it over.
Yes, Rishika, thank you for sharing your knowledge. I know we are running out of time. I will only take 2 more minutes. As I promised, I will discuss about MLSA. So, as I mentioned at the starting of the session, that MLSA is Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. So, what is it? It is a program that aims to enhance students' employability and increase students' awareness about Microsoft technologies. So they offer trainings, especially in product-specific skills that are not typically taught in academics. So if you are in school or college, basically if you are a student, then you can apply for the same. So here you can learn new skills or you can work on your existing skills, and also you can explore different career options here. So Rishika and I are MLSA. We are at alpha level. So at the starting, we learn the things like Python, Azure. So there are so many courses. There are blockchain, AI, ML. So we learned that. Then we got promoted. So now we are sharing those knowledge with you guys. So if you want to know more, you can tell us. You can reach out to us on LinkedIn. Then we can just host more such sessions with you guys. So what are the perks? So once you become a part of MLSA, then you will get access to Microsoft 365 Premium account, LinkedIn Learning, Azure account, and so many courses that I already taught about. So yeah, obviously it depends on the level. Like I already told you that we are at alpha level. So there are also beta and gold level. So it totally depends on the level which you are at to get the access of different kinds of accounts. So that's it, guys. Thank you everyone for being so attentive. I hope you guys learned something new about Python and MLSA. So we will be sharing a feedback form. Rishika, can you please share that? So you guys can fill it out and give your valuable feedback. You have to write your name and your email ID, and that should be correct because you will be receiving a certificate on that email ID, and the name should be correct as the same will be printed on the certificate. So thank you guys. Stay safe and stay healthy.
Please do fill the feedback form, guys. We'll be giving you certificate on the basis of it. And Achal, if you want, you can share the LinkedIn profiles also.
Rishika, I have already shared it.
Okay, okay, then it's good.
Uh,
So
yeah, and
please,
I've
please
also
do give your
shared the
valuable feedback.
MLSA website page. You can go there and check out for more information, and if you find that interesting, you can apply for the same. So thank you guys.